Hi there. All right, we are back for tips and tricks. I don't think I have any tricks, but I do have a couple of tips about this one. And I talked about them while we were sewing, but I just want to go back over it again for anyone who watches this later. That's more kind of what this video is about, is people who, kind of watch at a later time. Um, and just want to get it together. Sorry, I'm always snipping. Snip, snip, snip. So we did this kind of limey block and this purple block, which I got to tell you, these green and purple are my favorite colors. I do like teal. I do like teal and purple, but green is, and this just makes me think of candy. Maybe I'm hungry, but summer, this line one's like so much summer fun, and I'm ready for spring. I will tell you, we are getting spring around here. I know some people are still getting snow. I'm sorry about that. All right. So this is April and we are doing these blocks. Now, one of the things I do want to tell you that really was helpful for me this month was having this board. Excuse me. Having this board. I'm going to drink a little bit of coffee. Now, I know not everybody has a board, and I didn't have one before this, and I'll tell you, get it as soon as you can. It really, really helped. So it's easy to get confused about what sews to what on this one. If you do not have a board, I highly suggest you take a picture and refer to the picture often when you're sewing this together. It's real easy to sew both of these in a straight line, to sew one up like this in a straight line when you're sewing this triangle. So it's very helpful to flip it over, take it, sew it, put it back on the board, make sure you're right, flip this one over this, sew it, put it back here, make sure you're right. So that's the first thing. That's my first tip for you. This one is a little confusing. But I do want to tell you, when you're sewing the two large pieces together, I'll show you the purple one at this point. I was supposed to sew this edge here, and I kind of twisted this triangle around. It doesn't matter. At first I thought that I might redo it, but I really like how these points look, and you know what? It doesn't matter. It just absolutely doesn't matter. And maybe the colors would be in a different place, but I don't care. And I don't think they would. But so if you do something like that, just let it go. Then you can see here, it doesn't match up perfectly right here, nor does it right here. My mantra is let it go. And you'll hear me say that a lot. And I know I sound like a broken record, but really, we cannot focus on these tiny little off center pieces. If we do, you will go insane. So let's just move past them, decide whether they're worth retrying or not, and then move on. I retry. If I think it's bad, I'll retry once. And if it doesn't work, then it is what it is, and I move on. In the whole scheme of things, and I'm talking about when you get the entire quilt done, you are not going to see that little seam and that one little part. I promise you, you're not going to see it. So just let that go. All right. The other thing I wanted to talk about, these seams that match up, you have basically you have four seams that you're matching up. You're matching here, 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 and here. This one, when you're matching it, it's a straight line. So you can see with this, you've got straight going down here and you've got straight here, but when they're meeting up here, they're matching up. So it's not like offset, you know how when it had to cross over like this, like before you were matching up on a slanted seam like this. So that's how you match up those. Granted, some seams work better than others, but that's okay. So that's the other tip for matching those seams. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up that's not necessarily related to this specific block are the triangles that we're cutting for the pillows. If you're doing that, if you haven't been trimming all of these corners, go ahead and do that. That way, when you get to the end and you have 108 of these to do, then go ahead and trim them, because when you get to the end of all of this and we're going to sew the pillow and have so much fun, the last thing you're going to want to do is trim 216 corners at that time. So go ahead and start working on that. I've finished mine and I'm cutting them every month now. Then the other thing that I wanted to talk about was the swatch book. Some people are doing it, some people have decided not to, but I really want to reiterate that this is incredibly helpful when you start piecing those blocks and you're like, which one's A, which one's B, which one's C? Oh crap. So you have the name of the fabric in case you need to get more, but then I'm also labeling which one I'm doing on here. And it's not always straight like this. I do have some that I've mixed up just a little bit. Put that back down there like that. And if you are curious as to where the swatch pages are with the names of the fabrics in them, I can send it to you. Just send me an email and I can send you it. This is for the Kona, specifically the Kona colors. If you are doing your own and you want to put your own swatch book together, I do have a blank where there are no names in there, and then you can just write them in. You can email me and I'll send that to you. Or if you're in our Facebook group, that's in the files section. Now, if you are purchasing or would like to purchase the new Stonehenge kit that Julie with Jaybird is going to be doing for 2025, I do have those available and you can get them from me. And what I will be including, whether you purchase the one that's in the custom box and comes with the pattern, or you purchase the one that does not include the pattern that I'm putting together, I will not be cutting the 10-inch charms. That's coming directly from Northcott Fabrics. I'm not cutting those. I will cut the background fabrics in the one that's not included with the box, but I always on those yard cut fabrics give you an inch or two over, so you would not be short on that. And that particular one does not include the pattern book, because I know some people want to do that one too. It's really pretty, actually. It's very pretty. But I will also send you a swatch card like this with the names of the fabrics in them, and probably a little box to put these little letters in, because that's something I didn't think about when I did this. So you'll get that printed out on the cardstock that you can use with that kit. And with this, I've also left a little room on this side so you can punch holes and put it in a binder if you like. All right, that's my tips for this month. I'm having a blast and I hope you are too. This is really a lot of fun doing different techniques and stuff like that. I do want to show y'all, I am actually working on, sorry, this Ditto quilt. I'm going to be sewing this one up with the most beautiful fabrics. I just wanted to show you. Look at that. How gorgeous is this? Ooh, this is from Figo, and it's called Space Dye. It's a really beautiful quilt. So I like y'all sharing your other projects with me, so I'm sharing a project that I'm doing as well. And when I get done, I'll show you the finished product. It's a Jaybird pattern, so that's why I mention it. All right, guys. Next week, I will be announcing the winners for this month. Yay, so exciting. And if you have any questions about this month or the previous months or what's coming up or whatever, just leave comments. If you're on YouTube, you can leave a comment, or if you're in the Facebook group, just ask it and I will talk about it on our live show next week. All right. Thank you so much. I hope you're having fun like I am, and I will see you next week live on our Facebook group. All right. Bye.